How's it going, guys? We are here today with Ramon Chavez, and we're going to look at one of the coolest custom fixed blade collections we have ever seen. Sweet. Well, should we start with this guy?
Sure. So my uncle, Ramon Chavez, made this. He was a railroader and I was a railroader, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And he would just make them and give them away, I think, sell some of them.
Okay.
This one he gave to my mom and dad for their wedding day.
Very cool.
Just made out of, I think, old sign plastic from back in the day.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then a hacksaw blade from the railroad and who knows what else.
Okay. I'm sure you had to get pretty creative back then with like materials and stuff.
Probably not a lot like we have today.
Yeah, and I'm sure you didn't have a massive shop like this, so that totally
No.
makes sense. But that's cool.
So that's the one that started it all.
Part of your heritage for knives and everything. I guess let's go right to this guy. So it's a little bit smaller. It looks like it's Stout knives.
Yeah, Jason Stout, JB Stout.
So what's the story behind this guy? How'd you get it?
In 2013, when I went to Blade Show, my first Blade Show ever, and I was just walking around and I just stumbled upon his table and started talking to him and told him I made knives. He's like, let me check out your knife. I like that one. He's like, if you like it, I like that one. Let's trade.
Oh, nice.
So that's when me and Jason became friends.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
So I've had it since then, 2013. So what, 12 years now?
Trade for trade.
Yep.
And this one, so it looks like this side is a flat grind, completely flat.
Chisel grind. Yep.
Chisels, there you go. And then this one has the actual, more of a hollow grind to it.
Yep.
Talk us through the purpose of that, of having one versus the other. I know you've emulated that on your knives before as well.
Yeah, I do. You can get a sharper angle of edge because you're only sharpening one side. And then you just strop this side.
Okay.
So if you're sharpening like at 22 degrees on a regular knife, then it would actually be 44 degrees.
Okay.
If you're sharpening 22 on this one, it's actually 22.
Let's jump into this one. This one's really cool. So who's the designer on this guy?
So this guy is Mark Key.
Okay.
And he was actually right next table to Jason.
So you're just jumping booths.
But he wasn't there.
Yeah.
And then when I came back around later, Jason was telling him, hey, there's a guy that has a skull and key with his too, and his name's Chavez. Well, Chavez means key, right?
Oh, right. He's got the skull and the key logo.
From that day on, Mark called me Cuz.
Oh, nice.
And then we just got to be good friends. And unfortunately, he passed away in the floods in Tennessee. His house got washed off. And
oh, no.
Yep.
Dang, that is sad.
So that was terrible.
But you're carrying on his legacy with this knife.
Oh, yeah.
As I'm sure many others are.
And like I tell people, this guy was so honest.
Yeah.
So this knife I was going to buy, because I buy a knife every show.
Right.
Or my wife buys me, Lori buys me one every show. And I was over his table looking at that. And I said, well, put that away because I don't have any cash. And then I'll come back and I'll get it.
Yeah.
So when I go back, he's burning up. He's like, first word out of his mouth, I can't lie to you. Your wife came over here and bought the knife. She told me she told me not to tell you. She said, I can't lie. Just so honest. Just cool. Great guy.
Yeah, I did research on him before this, and it seemed like everyone just has such high praise for him and all of his designs and what he's done for the knife industry. Yep. So that's
super
very
good
cool. Guy. Does this one have a name, a model name at all?
I don't think he did. It was
just one of his customs.
He owned a pawn shop and he did a lot of knives on his free time. So it's not his full-time gig.
Okay. Very cool. I like the smaller ones. We're getting through those first. And then I guess we'll just jump right into this huge one, which this looks like an antler handle. Very
I would say it's probably elk.
Elk, okay. Some sort of antler. Very nice. And then it has like that S-blade, almost like that you see on swords, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. So talk me through this one then.
So this one's kind of cool too. And I started selling knives at like gun shows and just small stuff. Yeah. And I would see this guy in my hometown or in Albuquerque when I'd be selling at gun shows. And I'm like, man, I can't afford that. That's too much. So didn't buy it. The years go by and, I sold a lot more knives and I was able to afford it. And I called him up. He's like, no, I don't make those anymore because this is made out of the tram cable in Albuquerque, which for, I think, like 40 some years, it was the longest tram in the world.
Wow. That's
so sweet. The people that made this, I think they were from China. Well, when they retired that tram cable, the same company replaced the cable. Yeah. And those guys were retiring from the original one. So this guy's name is Jerry Duran. Jerry made a bunch of knives for those people that made that original cable.
Wow. That's sweet. So all hand forged. Yeah. This looks like his form of Damascus.
It's cable.
So
it's
it's just the pattern of the cable being pressed. Yep. Wow, that's sweet.
Yeah. So when I called him, he's like, I don't have any more left, and I'm retired now. So you're SOL.
Oh dang.
And then he called me back like couple hours later, he says, you know what, I do have one. I want you to have it. So.
Hey, that's awesome. Because you're from New Mexico, right? Okay, so that kind of hits home. Very sweet. I love this one. It's very sword-like. Yeah. It's like a mini sword in your hand, which is wild.
Be nice. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And then these two, let's jump into these. So these are your designs. Yeah. You made these. So this first one.
So this one, after I started selling knives in 2010, this is probably my second or third knife that I made after selling them. And even the design on this one is RCK1. So I have a bunch of RCK numbers, and that's the number one design.
Very cool.
I made it for my dad, and now I have it back.
Awesome. That's sweet. So it seemed like, and we'll talk about this next one, another fixed blade. You started in fixed blades. Yep. Was that just because it was maybe easier to learn with a bigger piece of metal how to like make knives? Or what was the reasoning behind? I found that one,
so that started me in the fixed blades, and then, but then I never even really knew about folders till I went to that first show in 2013.
Okay. Gotcha.
And I saw them, I was like, holy smoke, this is insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2013 is when I started making my first folder.
Okay, very cool.
Yep.
And then this one looks a bit more refined, if you will. Definitely like full production almost. So what's the name of this one?
This one's a repercussion.
Okay.
And
it's huge.
I think I can't remember the number designation I have on it, but the 100th knife I made was this design. Okay. And I ended up giving that knife to a friend of mine. That one ended up in Blade Magazine. And But Aldo from the Steel Baron, he owns that knife.
Okay, very cool. And you said you want to get back into making fixed blades?
We'll be doing production fixed blades this year.
Awesome.
We're starting off with 2 and a kitchen knife.
Oh, nice.
And then I'm scanning all my old patterns that are out of like Masonite. I think I have like 40 patterns, so we're going to come up with a bunch of fixed blades this year.
All right, well, there you go, guys. You can be on the lookout for that. It's going to be beautifully made for sure. These two kind of get paired together. So we'll start with this huge one. This is very Bowie-esque. Yep. And this is the coffin handle. So I did a little bit of research on this guy, and it seems like that's kind of what he's trying to recreate is the old coffin handles.
Old style.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is Mace?
So yeah, this is Mace Vital.
Okay.
And I met him in 2013 at that blade show as well. And just funny story, we've been friends since then.
Nice.
I'm walking by his booth and I'm like, oh man, I'm hungry. And he's like, well, I got bacon. And he had a cup full of bacon there. So he gives me a couple pieces of bacon. And we were friends after that. Nice. And then I've been trying to get one of his knives for years. Yeah. And every time I go to the table, they just be wiped out. And
oh, I'm sure with the way these look.
Yeah, I made it. I think this one was 2 years ago, 2 blade shows ago. Mm-hmm. Might have been last year, but went to his table early and he had a couple, and I'm like, I'm getting 2 because I've been waiting 10 years, 12 years.
Well,
so
that's
I bought
awesome.
2 from him.
It seems like that one blade show for you was like a very defining moment in meeting other designers and makers and everything.
It was, definitely was.
And so it looks like he does a hammered finish?
This is completely forged. Okay. And he's a member of the ABS.
Oh yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
So then what is this material? Is it just a steel that we have here?
It's just a blued, probably the same steel as this. Okay. I have the specs at home, but yeah, it's just a blued piece of metal.
Okay. It's beautiful. And then would you say this is Damascus, or is that just the finish from
it's
the
just
forging?
Hamon is what they call it.
Okay.
So that's just what it is from the heat treat.
Nice. Very cool. That one's beautiful.
Yeah, this is really nice.
I would say probably that's my favorite one of yours so far.
Well, thank you.
But yeah, that one, I love this one. It's huge as well. And then we'll go into his smaller piece. So what is this one?
I don't know exactly what it is, but I was like, that's cool. Yeah. I liked it.
Okay, so you're more drawn to just seeing something, appreciating it, and you're like, I gotta have it.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. Yep. And so do you use any of these? Or are they more showpieces?
No, not these ones I don't use. Okay. I used to carry Jason's around quite a bit. Mm-hmm. But other than that, not too much. Okay. No. And
so do you like collecting these because it gives you inspiration into your designs? Or do you like to think that obviously whatever you're designing is completely original, as we know?
Yeah, I don't like looking at other knives for inspiration at all.
Right.
I just like craftsmanship and
just appreciate it.
And being that most of them are good friends of mine.
Okay.
So
very cool.
That's what I like the most.
Supporting them, they support you. Yep. Very cool. And this one has the same, it looks like the exact same build out as that one with the hammered.
Yeah, hammered forged.
Very pretty. Wow. Love that one. And then we'll talk about this one next.
And this one is made by a man, Jim Largent.
Okay.
And somewhere in Colorado, but it was at a Gardner Schwartz Sports, I think, in downtown Durango.
Yeah.
And this is the first custom knife I think I ever owned, other than the ones I made before.
Yeah.
But my wife, Lori, she knew I liked it, and I was looking at it a bunch, and then she ended up buying it, kind of like the same thing as this.
Hey, she knows.
Yep.
Went after your own heart right there.
Yep, she surprised it with me. She surprised me with it later, so
Nice.
that was super nice.
This one's
and it's
cool.
that's one I'll have forever.
I think specifically this spine here, it looks like it's probably hand milled or etched, however you would call it.
I forgot what they call it now, but yeah, it's with a file. It's all file work.
Oh wow, that's
Yep.
incredible. And I love the hardware.
Yep.
It's very different
Mosaic
than
pins.
just a, yeah, you don't just see the plain screws. This is definitely a piece of art for sure. Very cool. And then last but not least, we have another sword-looking Bowie-esque
Yep.
blade. So talk me through this one.
So this one's from Jesse Draws, and I think I met him maybe 14 or 15.
Okay.
And
Wow.
I just always he just was a real cool guy, and
Yeah.
I always made a point to talk to him, and we became friends. And
Very cool.
I saw him post this on Facebook
Yeah.
a couple days before the gathering 3 years ago. I'm like, man, if that's at the table, I'm getting it. So I went to the table and it was there and I got it.
Hey man, people better watch out for you at these shows. You're coming up and you're like, I need this knife.
Yeah.
So they better be prepared.
The build quality, this is just insane.
Yeah, the smoothness of this handle is spectacular.
Yep.
And I love the yellow liners. Add that pop of color there.
And the tapered,
Yes. Tapered.
tang.
That's really pretty. Wow.
Yeah, Jesse does absolute great work.
Yeah, see, all of these guys do. It's incredible.
All of them do, yeah.
Would you say this has taken you, I mean, obviously your whole life to kind of get all
Yeah.
of these knives?
Mostly shows that that I go to is I'll pick up most of these from there.
Very
A couple of them I've got like on trades and
Okay.
stuff like that. But yeah, started with that original one that Lori bought.
This first guy.
And I'd say that was probably around, I don't even know, 2010 or 9.
Wow, very cool. Well, it seems your passion for knives has only escalated to something this monumental. So I think that's fantastic. We love to see what Chavez is doing lately. You're killing it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we appreciate your time to show me all of these just beautiful knives. And yeah, thank you again.
You're welcome. You're welcome very much. Thank you for coming to the shop.
Absolutely. And if you guys like videos like this, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. And we will see you on the next one.